Hey, Dustin.
Yes.
What in the Lord's name of a leathery, swassy chode are we talking about tonight?
Jeez. I can smell the words. That's bad.
This is a scratch and sniff podcast.
Man, when you do,
I don't know that the Lord likes that.
when you get off your motorcycle seat, it sounds like a suction cup.
Oh,
Everybody, welcome back to Five Dirty Bikers Podcast, episode 51. You guys believe it's been 51 episodes this season?
Gosh.
I know, man. We got one more to do, and we've knocked it out.
Yeah, the whole year we haven't missed a Monday.
Haven't missed one.
Flown by.
But
With that being said, we will after we're recording next Wednesday, and after that, we are taking a 2-week break.
Yep, we're gonna enjoy the 2 holiday weeks we got coming up, and you guys.
Is that what's called a high anus? High, yeah.
High anus, yes.
Hiatus.
Yeah.
I'm not tall enough to have a hiatus.
Me either.
Ryan's got a hiatus. If he goes
Weird.
to prison, all the inmates gonna need a stool.
Poor Tony never gets a day off.
Jesus. Okay, so we do have a topic today that was really inspired by our friend Whit Meza. She's a YouTuber. If you haven't heard of her, go check her out on YouTube. I think she goes by Whit Meza on YouTube. And she brought up this topic idea of miles ridden. What is it? Seat time versus years of riding. And we'll expand on this here in a little bit. So, Ryan, you want to go ahead and explain how Whit explained this in her video?
Yeah, so Whit made an Instagram post today, and she was, the question she raised was, what determines an experienced rider? Is it actual seat time, miles ridden, or is it years behind the bars? She was, I think the point she was making is that, there are some times when you have riders that say, they're critical of a new rider and say, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years. And you have a new rider that's maybe been riding for 3 years, but they've ridden 60,000 miles in those 3 years. I'm just throwing out a number here. And that may be, those miles in that short period of time could equate to somebody who's ridden for 20 years if they're, maybe just a commuter or a weekend warrior or something like that. Sometimes those things don't really even out, right? So her argument was, what essentially makes an experienced rider? Is it seat time? Is it years? What is it?
I mean, you can have 20 years worth of experience, but if you only have 10,000 miles in those 20 years, you only have 10,000 miles of experience. But anybody who's talking about experience on a motorcycle doesn't necessarily know, except for probably Mary, who keeps track of everything. How many miles technically have you ridden since you started riding?
That is a good question. I'm going to say around 20,000.
I'm sure it's in your computer, in your logbook.
It is. I don't have my books with me. My books are at home. I do keep a logbook, and I have tracked every ride and every mile since I started.
Are you shitting me? You really do that?
I'm not kidding. I have multiple logbooks, yes. And I take pictures, and I add my pictures to them and everything. I'm a freak. I'm a freak like that.
I have ridden a ton of miles in the last few years. Probably just 12,000 miles. So maybe not a ton, but it's a good amount for this area of the country. And, but I experienced something different this year that I hadn't experienced before, which was, when I went to MMM in 2019, the roads, there were some curvy roads around the Great River Road, but for the most part, riding in Illinois was very much like riding here. A lot of really long straight roads. And so this last year when I went to South Dakota, there wasn't a straight road to be had. Every road was curvy and hilly and mountainous, and it went up and down and left and right and whatever. And it made me feel like a lesser experienced rider all over again, because I didn't have experience on that type of terrain. Right. So even though I'd logged all these miles, I get there and I'm like, you know, my confidence is down a little bit. And I would say I felt way better by day 6 than I did on day 2.
I'm the exact same situation. When I went to Louisville, visited Tony, like you said, Illinois is very, very straight. There's not a lot of curbs around here. I got to go into Missouri to ride some decent curbs, but it's beautiful country out there too. But yeah, Tony took us out there on some of those back roads, and I got sketched out a little bit, but still, I mean, I didn't have down confidence or anything. I was like thinking at the same time, this is a great experience.
Yeah.
And I think it's like Whit, she's ridden all over the country, and she's wanting to do that, 48 states trip?
48 states.
She's going to be riding in all sorts of roads that she's probably never even.
Yeah. I mean, she's going to have.
Yeah.
She's going to have elevation change. She's going to have curvy roads, straight roads, different environments, different asphalt, concrete. You know, I mean, she's going to. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is and that's where you gain a lot of experience while riding, versus just
staying in your comfort zone. Yeah.
Staying in your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say seat time trumps, seat time, seat mileage, whatever trumps everything else, because if you don't have the seat time, it doesn't matter if you've ridden for 50 years. If you don't have that seat time, then, you're sort of a new rider. You've seen different styles and different things come and go along the way, and you've experienced different manufacturers, and you've experienced technology get better, but you haven't actually gained motorcycling experience by sitting on your couch.
Experience, it has to be diverse. It just can't be one terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because you really not learn that one terrain, but then you get out of that. Like here in the fall, what you guys probably don't deal with, Mary, down in Florida, are leaves.
Yeah.
And I mean, leaves will put you on your ass.
Oh yeah.
And
What?
With the quickness in the fall.
On a cruiser, maybe.
Wet leaves on the road.
On any
Wet
bike.
leaves on the road, on any bike. Especially
Man,
with those no road grippy bitches you ride on.
No, dude. I wish you could see me go through a roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
With leaves?
With leaves?
with grass. That's
What?
I will tell you, that is one of the funniest things for me and Reggie to talk about, because if we're out riding and someone is mowing their grass, we run through the middle of the grass. And then I always make a comment like, "Oh my God, Reggie, I thought you was going to die." I mean, it's like, because everybody avoids grass. Oh my God, it's going to send me into
because your tires aren't touching the ground. You're on these little nubs. You're riding those big ass knobby tires, man. I saw your YouTube video.
You guys, you do understand that the grass that's on the road isn't like you riding through your yard.
Yeah,
It's just grass on the road.
But it's wet.
If it's wet,
if it's
slippery.
wet, it'll put you down.
Are you dragging a knee as you're going through the grass?
Sometimes.
I think it's interesting that Whit even made the post, really, whether she was feeling like she was being criticized or people were being critical of her experience, because even if you think about just what she did this last year, her main ride is a Sportster, and her husband has a custom Fat Boy. Mm-hmm. And then on her trip, she rode, an Indian, she rode a Harley Bagger, she rode a Heritage. I think she rode like a Sport Glide or a, Lowrider S or something like that too. So she's ridden on the Softail platform. She's ridden on the Baggers. She rode a couple of different Indians. So her experience is varied too. It's kind of like, Tony, Mike, Mary, I mean, besides Dustin and I, you guys have all ridden multiple bikes and multiple brands in the last couple of years, you know? And so I think that adds to your experience too, because you're experiencing riding in a different way.
Whit's whole point about the mileage versus the years, or the seat time versus the years. You know, anybody in any profession doing anything, on the job experience and the experiences that you learn are worth more than any piece of documentation you can get from college. Hands down.
100% agree with that. Yep.
And the more you do it, the more you learn from it. And even if you make mistakes, you're learning from those mistakes as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then you get thrown in all these other different situations with cars pulling out in front of you and rain. And you know what I mean? It's these emergency situations that you have to deal with the longer you ride, because they do happen. And that's good experience too, if you come out unscathed.
Yeah, when I look back on that trip, Tony, like I gained so much experience. I mean, I've been caught in the rain on both my Sportster and my Sport Glide, but I rode through rain more than half the way home.
Yeah,
I mean, I was legit terrified because I was riding down 64. I had black clouds over here. I had black clouds over here. I could see thunder and lightning on both sides, and I could just see the rain.
And I think the other thing is you have to like put yourself out there, and sometimes you have to put yourself in uncomfortable positions to be able to learn, just like Dustin was talking about riding.
Now we're
in the
still
rain.
talking about riding motorcycles, right?
Oh.
Yes, I'm talking about motorcycles. Jesus, Tony.
Just clarifying. I just want to make sure.
Yes, I'm glad you clarified that. Lord have mercy.
Those rules apply to life too, just saying.
Yes, they do actually. But like Dustin was saying, riding in the rain, you know, some people think, oh no, I'd never do that. That's scary. It's not as bad as you think it is. You know, don't put yourself in a dangerous position. Obviously, if it's raining too hard and you can't see, pull off the road in a safe spot where somebody's not going to hit you.
Exactly what I did. I found an overpass. I just pulled over. I waited till the rain quit.
Exactly. Yeah. But you gain experience by putting yourself in those positions and doing things that you've not done before, or finding a road you haven't ridden before. Or like for me, for instance, yes, I have a lot of straight roads here, but there are also curvy roads if you know where to look for them. So find them, ride them, gain that experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
like
bad
Mary
that all
said, if
those
it's
curvy
dangerous-
roads are covered in sand.
Yeah, no
Not
shit.
true.
Let's talk about sand. I don't know
Those
anything
are
about
called
riding in
hiking
sand.
trails.
And word to the wise people, like Mary said, if it's dangerous, pull out.
Now it's time for the Whit Banana Mono Word of the Day.
It's like jet fuel for your mind.
The word of the day is
Oh, here we go.
super feces.
Wow.
That's what happens after White Castles.
I was just thinking that
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Regular feces aren't bad. You might have the super feces.
Yeah.
That would definitely be Tony after a trip to White Castle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's when you got to hydrate afterwards.
I'm telling you.
Chop it with the axe, he said.
That's where Tony goes to White Castle. Then he goes into a phone booth, comes out, and he goes, shit myself.
You got to stop at Walmart and get a piece of leather so you can bite down on it when you get home.
Ow.
That's one of those that causes you to plank as you're driving out of your neighborhood, and you got to turn around and go back home, huh, Tony?
That has happened. It's like, whoa, got to get back home. Things are going awry.
It's amazing how hard it is to get your foot off the accelerator when you're planking in your car.
When you're planking in your car, man, and, you know, when you're prairie dogging, it's a serious situation.
I know.
Fuck the tool belt, just drop it and run.
Just drop and run.
The tool belt's the only thing keeping your pressure off of your rectal cavity from pushing the poop out. So if you release that belt,
yeah, super feces. That's when you start getting those lower back spasms.
Yeah.
That's when you have to clean the wall afterwards.
Oh Lord.
No, that's how they make those things for the psychiatrists. They just press the paper on the wall. Gotta have those projectiles.
Spelling is SOO dash PER dash FISH dash EEZ.
That sound like super fishies. The masters are swimming.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Spontaneous would be so per fishies.
Is that the sound you make?
Soap or fishies. Soap or fishies. One of the two. You either got to rinse it out or get them pregnant.
God.
Yikes.
And there's the line.
There went the face palm from 2.
Yeah, there's the line.
It's a noun. Comes from Latin, mid 16th century. First definition: a surface.
Which
Superficies will end up on a surface. Whether it
multiple
be
surfaces, probably.
Curved porcelain.
Yeah, porcelain, latex walls, all over.
You all have some situations going on there.
Cotton underpants.
Latex walls.
Yeah, if you got the superficies, you're gonna spray it everywhere. It's like having a White Castle
Latex
shirt, brown
walls.
spots.
It's like Mike's talking about the Gimp in Pulp Fiction.
Well, bring out the Gimp.
Get the Gimp.
I'm talking about having brown spatter on the back of your shirt after you go to the restroom.
That's
God
bad.
damn, Mike, that's a situation, dude. You should go to the doctor.
Yeah. Second definition. What was that?
Parentheses.
Open parentheses. Literary. Close parentheses. An outward part or surface. Oh, an outward part or appearance.
Close parentheses.
No, it was literary, an outward part or appearance. See, I'm telling you, superficies is prairie dog. You better shove a finger and a wet wipe.
Oh,
in there.
come on.
Oh, Jesus.
He spun in his chair.
Oh.
There it is.
Hey, Tony.
You're an habitual line stepper. You know that, right?
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
Would you like for me to use superficies in the sentence?
Please, Mike, please.
Examples.
Actually, no, I don't want to hear it in a sentence. I changed my mind.
Well, you've already said it. You've already come to terms.
It's a turd. It's a vein. It's superficies.
It's a vein.
Hey, you know when you push real hard, the one on your forehead pops out.
Wait.
No.
Examples of superficies in the sentence. The sculptor created a superficies that seemed so realistic you would expect the marble body to be warm to the touch.
So it was a marble toilet.
I'm not touching this word.
Scattered.
Marbled. That means it was brown and yellow.
It's touching everything.
It's got some corn mixed in it, and it comes out at 98.6 degrees.
It was a bicolor sweet turd.
This can't make the podcast.
It looks like a cheeseburger hot dog.
Ew.
Second example.
Oh, there's another one.
Super feces in a sentence. While he exhibited an uncaring super feces in public, he was actually very sensitive with people in his private life.
Dustin's got the hee-hees over there.
You'll shit in a public restroom, but he closes the door when he gets home.
I will not. Conditions are not right.
You don't poop in a public restroom?
No, man, I'm not going in there.
What?
No.
Bet you blow that bitch up if you got to go bad enough.
I'll be heading my ass home.
You gonna be like my brother and have to poop in a urinal?
I ain't going to the public bathrooms, man. The conditions aren't right in there. It's not comfortable.
That's right. I've seen what the people that go into those public bathrooms. That means your balls are resting where theirs are. Not going to happen.
No, you want a tip? You just use one of those paper ass gaskets and do the hover.
Those are not. That's not sufficient.
You got to do the hover too, Tony. So you got to make sure you don't touch.
If you do the hover, then you end up with Poseidon's kiss, and it's a.
Well, you got to find. You got to flashback.
I mean, the whole thing. The whole thing is a bad situation. Just go home.
You gotta use the handicap stall with the rails. That way you can use your arms to hold yourself up. That way your cheeks don't touch.
I can tell you, I have wrecked a couple of books of millions.
What is it
I ain't
about
gonna
that?
lie.
People, you always go to Books a Million to shit. Always, man. You go out to eat with your significant other or a friend. You always end up at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah,
Books
go
a
to
Million.
Barnes and Noble. It's clean.
But you know the worst part about it is it's also quiet in there, so everybody in the whole building knows you went in there to.
Well, I wouldn't know because I ain't going in the dirty son of a bitch. The same way with those blueberry ponds on the job site. I'm not going in there either.
Dude, push comes to shove, you'll go.
Dude, there's more brownback bass in that damn thing. There's no way. I ain't going in there.
There might be a lot of brownback bass, but when something's pushing and shoving, you're going to go, Tony.
You go home. You usually have a good 30 minutes before it's D-Day.
No, I'm talking about them. I'm talking about them sneak up on you types. Like when you smoking a cigarette and drinking your morning coffee and you take that first or second drag off of a cigarette and you're like, oh. And it comes out of nowhere. You don't know it's a unique
dirty ass public bathroom. They ain't doing it.
What do you think the bathroom in Cocksmokers looks like?
I wouldn't know.
Could you go in and take a picture for us?
I'll tell you what, he might not poop in a public bathroom, but by God, he'll poop in a cabin out in the middle of the woods.
If I were to venture a guess,
that was pushing it. I almost went for the bush. I almost went in the woods.
If I were to venture to guess about cocksmokers in their bathrooms, my guess is the doors probably have holes in them.
I was thinking that same thing and wondering if Tony installed them.
$39.95. You just got to tell me how high.
And that has been the word of the day.
Boy, that one took a long time.
That did. We covered a lot of ground.